Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Needle, and in today's video I will be explaining for you guys how to win more shotgun fights on controller here in Season 9 of Fortnite. As you guys may know, the pump shotgun was recently added back in the game. This is going to be a pretty big adjustment switching back, considering I feel like everyone has gone out of their way to learn how to use the combat shotgun, which is a completely different shotgun. You have the pump, which is a one-shot kind of shotgun, can deal that 200 shot and put somebody back to the lobby in a matter of seconds. And then you have the combat, which is more of a tactical kind of medium-range shotgun. It's going to allow you to hit a lot of shots, though. You can hit 4 or 5 shots and just kill someone from a good distance away. So these are completely different shotguns, so I'll cover each separately. Also, I'll throw in the tac at the end, so make sure to stick around for that. And before we get too far into today's video, please make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications if you guys are new to the channel here. And if you guys actually come here a lot and enjoy the videos, please make sure to show some support on this one. Leave a like and make sure to leave a comment at the end what your favorite tip was and what you're going to be using. So without further ado, let's jump right into this video. Now, the first thing I want to preface you guys with is hitting shots in control is really weird because you think you're going to want to aim a lot with your shots with your right stick going like this. But the reality is, moving like this is only going to get you so far just because you have a thumbstick, and that's just how it is. So what I'd suggest instead is using your right stick as little as you can. Use it to adjust your shot if you're off a little bit, but instead use your left stick to aim a little bit more. What I mean by that is use your movement to aim. So as you guys can see right here, I have no opponent in front of me crosshair wise, but if I can use my left stick to get it right here, aim assist starts dragging it on a little bit, and then you can use the right stick a little bit to sway it back in just to make sure you're going to hit a headshot. So the number one tip I can give you guys on controller specifically is try to aim with your left stick more than your right stick, just because you can't really flick that well on controller. Now that we've got that out of the way, the first thing I want to be showing you guys what you guys need to start doing and practicing is the idea of learning to balance your shots by using your hips to align your opponent. Now, what I mean by this is, it's going to sound pretty weird, but what I just explained with aiming with the left stick, how it's more based on your movement. You're going to want to actually try to, line yourself up with your opponent instead of using your right stick like I've been saying. So a good way to practice that in general, how your fight should look, is try to mimic where your opponent is going. As you can see, I have my friend Ghost right here moving back and forth. I'm just going to slowly move with him and try to kind of match his movement and trying to keep my crosshair on him. Now, you can practice this like I've been saying, but this is just something that's really going to help you online, just because if you can match their movement, chances are you can put your crosshair on them and adjust from there. So that's the biggest tip I can give you guys, is learning how to just move back and forth with your opponent. Try to match them and really align your hips with their hips before you take a shot. It's going to help you a ton, especially on controller. The next tip I want to talk about here is actually learning how to play angles a little bit more to your advantage. So I know I've covered this previously, and it should be a general tip on controller. If you guys haven't seen this before, but I'll explain it again. This is just the idea of just right side peeking in general. So if you got a wall like this, you're going to want to peek off the right side as I'm doing right here, just because I can see my whole opponent and they cannot see me very well. This is a pretty simple concept, just because you're going to be shooting off your right side on your player mod. That's just how it goes. They shoot that way so you can see a little bit better. And as you guys can see, if I go this way, it's kind of like I'm showing my body, but my crosshair is nowhere to be seen, compared to this way where I can show my crosshair before my body and line up easy shots. So a right side peek is very crucial. Try to take shots only from this angle and try to avoid this left side as much as you can. It sounds pretty simple to do, and it really is, but it's something you just got to incorporate. You get some easy pump shots like this. 195, that was trash. I'm still leaving it in, whatever. Alright, next thing up here is the low ground peeking. And this is a weird spot, but I wanted to include it just because a lot of people freeze up in this spot, and they're going to actually lose a lot of gunfights just because they have low ground, which is kind of dumb because you can use it towards your advantage if you're a little bit smart about it. So as you guys can see, the situation I'm working with here, he's up there with a little bit of height moving back and forth, and I have no builds on me. So the first thing you want to do is obviously get a little bit of builds down, but for the sake of this, I'll just show you guys what I'm trying to explain here, which is crosshair placement. So I explained to you guys loading up your hips and kind of aligning yourself before you take the shot. Now this is going to be the art of trying to actually predict where they're going to go, especially with some crazy movement like this. So he's kind of peeking back and forth. I'm not going to really try to aim though and kind of move back and forth and track him. Instead, I'm going to try to hold my crosshair in one spot and kind of let it line up just like this. So as you guys can see, I'm literally holding my crosshair still, and I know he's moving for the sake of the video and he's a practice dummy, but for the sake of this video, just understand that this happens in game too, as people try to take peek shots, but sometimes it's not as good as just actually trying to line up and let your crosshair do the work for you like that. Don't try to flick or go anything crazy, just kind of line it up and then let them do the rest for you. So that's another little simple tip you guys can use on controller. Keep in mind, like I've been saying, the goal here on controller is to try not to flick and try not to use the right stick. Try to use the left stick in your aim assist towards your advantage. It's going to help you the most. Now, those are kind of the basics of actual controller aiming tips. I can't really explain much more just because controller aiming is so hard with shotguns, but it's a very important thing, so I tried my best there. Now I'm going to explain more about how you can use the weapons towards your advantage and kind of the purpose of each shotgun. So right now I have a blue pump in my hand, which is a shotgun that is going to be kind of hard to use and scary at first if you haven't used it before, but think about this thing as a powerful tool if you can get your shot off and build. So in this, you're going to want to play up in somebody's face like this. You're going to be up here, but after you get a shot off, there's a good chance you're moving or whatever, you're going to want to build right away. So my biggest tip I have for that is to try to get a shot off like this and then get a wall down right after. So you're going to want to try to get a shot off, and the first instinct you should always have with the pump is to get a wall right after and then try to ramp. So something like this. Now, a really good tip I have for you guys, I've actually made a previous video on this, is for controller players, the best way to get a shot off and then build right after, since you're already holding down your right trigger for shooting right, just literally hold down your circle or whatever your build bind is, and it's going to pull out your builds right away. So I'll do it again. Come over here, Ghost, so we can show them again. So basically, just literally get your shot off, and since you're already holding down trigger, I'm going to explain again here, keep holding it down, and literally as simple as that, hold your circle right after you hit the trigger, and boom. Simple as that. It's going to look like you're playing on PC, getting those quick builds off, so it's something to keep in mind. But another way I like to combo it up, especially if I'm trying to get some height with my pump and land some better shots, I'll do the same thing here. I'm going to kill him here with this, but do this and then ramp right after. So that's something you guys want to practice in creative like I am here. Just kind of load up a little bit, learn how to get your pump shotgun shots off, and then build after. Because I see a lot of players, they'll just have their pump, they'll be jumping around like this, they'll start getting some shots, and then they never end up building. It's always going to come back to haunt them, especially if they're facing a combat. Other than that, though, for the pump, I don't really have that many tips. I'd want to cover those since it just got added back in. But other than that, though, you're just going to want to hit your shots and hit your headshots. Hitting those 200 pumps is everything with the pump. You don't want to be left stranded after you hit them for 180, kind of frozen, thinking you got the kill. So with the pump, remember, hit your shots. They can hit hard, but always try to stay on the move with it and use your movement towards your advantage. Now, next up, we have the almighty beast of the combat shotgun. One of my personal favorites. I was kind of conflicted when they first added the pump in the day just because I'm so used to the combat, but I think it's still going to be a really good option, especially the gold combat. I think it's going to be the best in the game, but as I said earlier, the pump is definitely more in your face, trying to get shots off, trying to move, trying to build pretty quick, where the combat is going to be a little more strategic. You're going to want to play with a little bit of height and distance, so I think the perfect distance probably would be like, you know, right here compared to where I'm at to Ghost right now. Let's see what I can hit him for here just to test it out to show you guys how good the pump is. So, I'm sorry, the combat is. So, right here for a headshot, I can hit 80, 80, 80, and then 100. And I'm, you know, keep in mind, if I can mark this here, I don't have my ping on, but regardless, it's still a good distance away. So, just showing you guys how lethal this thing is at distance. But what I want to talk about here is how to use this up close and personal right here. So I see a lot of people, they'll freeze up. One of the biggest issues I see with people making with the combat is they'll get a shot off like this for 80, right? And then what they'll do is try to switch to their complementary weapon, so like an SMG or an AR, and start spamming shots. It'll work, but the issue is with the combat, it provides such good burst damage and rapid fire shots. Think about it, it has 10 bullets in the clip, it's shooting faster than attack, it can hit harder than attack in some situations, so you're going to want to be all up in their face spraying like I am now. So think about it as like a W key machine. Try to get really close with it when you can, and make sure never to switch to your secondary weapon if it's not called for, just because that's the biggest mistake. The switch right here is going to cost you too much time, and you can actually play up in their face and hit some decent shots with the combat. So keep in mind that you're going to want to use it more at a distance like I've been saying. Another thing I want to show you guys with the combat though that I learned a little bit ago, I actually made a video on this as well, is learning to spam L2 with it. So stand still for me, Ghost, right here. What you can do with this gun, it's so lethal and I really love it a lot. I know you guys have seen my videos before on aim assist and how to use aim assist. This isn't really abusing aim assist, but you can kind of do the L2 spam that I've talked about before. So look at my crosshair right now, look at when I hit L2. So right here, am I going to get anything? Boom, right on the head. So right here, if I just hip fire, oh, my fault. If I shot right here, hip fire, not going to hit any. Actually, I am hitting pellets. I don't know why. It's off his head. I'm hitting no pellets right here, but if I hit L2 and then do it right on his head. So you can kind of spam L2 a little bit. Come back here, Ghost, to show him again just how bad the L2 spam is. So at a little bit of a distance, I'll keep moving back. Move back a little bit, Ghost, just for the video here. Move back a little bit. You can really spam this thing and hit some stupid shots that you shouldn't. So I'm really not even aiming on him right here, and let's just go for it. So just to show you guys how dumb the L2 spam is, especially at distance, it's going to make the combat pretty lethal if you guys haven't been using it like that already. I really like this gun a lot. It provides a lot of different scenarios and a lot of different ways you can fight with it. Personally, a big fan of the combat, but now let's hop right in to the tactical shotgun. Don't know why I said it like that. What do you think of this video so far? Actually? For real, you would watch this?
I'd watch it.
You think it's gonna bang?
Probably. Yeah, I can't make any like predictions because you don't know YouTube algorithm.
I don't, and we don't know it either, so it's
But
good.
it should bang.
Shh, we're gonna finish it. We have to finish it. Last up, we have one of our favorites, the TAC shotgun. Had to include in this video just because they actually did buff it a little bit. I think they raised the headshot multiplier by 16. Let's test it here on Ghost. Let's see what it's like. So body shot for some feet. Hitting you for 79 with the blue TAC. Honestly, not that bad. You can hit 3 of these, you're gonna be good. But let's see what that headshot's hitting for up close. 177, boys. 177 with the TAC shotgun, which is going to lead me right into my only tip I'm going to have for the TAC for you guys, is get in their face and stay in their face with the TAC. This isn't like the combat. You don't want to be dancing around back here trying to tag up shots like this. I mean, it's going to work a little bit. You see those 20 shots? With this, you're going to want to be all up in their face. And the same mechanics go that I explained at the beginning, the fundamentals of shotgun aim. Aim with your left stick. Try to use your right stick as minimal as you can. You can't really flick on controller. I hate to tell you guys that. But with this gun, you want to be all up in their face like this. So I'm just going to keep running at Ghost to just reiterate what I want to tell you guys here. Just get in their face and try to hit the headshots and spray with it. I call it the TAC attack myself. It can hit for a lot of shots, hit for a lot of damage. You just got to hit them, man. So with the TAC, the only tip I have for you guys is full commit with it, full send. Don't go half commit with it and try to like play at a distance or try to L2 with it. Get in their face, hit some hard shots, and keep spamming shots with the TAC. And then from there, you can work your way up in the game to get a pump or a combat shotgun. Alright guys, that's going to be all for the video today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy. Comment down below what your favorite tip was and what video you guys want to see next from me on controller tips or about anything. That is all from me, guys. I will see you guys later. Peace.